Trump's Amazing Head by Gordon Chris. Published by Quadruple Boom Press, 2018. This is a work of fiction. Similarities to real people, places, or events are entirely coincidental. Chapter 2. Baron often came to this bathroom and sat in his stall. It wasn't fancy like the toilets near his daddy's office, so the old man was sure not to make an appearance. And his mother wouldn't try to find him, his crazy grandmother either. Baron didn't have to make a poo-poo, but he still pulled his trousers down. He liked the way his favorite dolly felt against the naked skin of his thigh. It was a cool sensation, like water in a church font, or the wading pool back in Manhattan. He'd named his dolly Melania after his mother. The dolly didn't look like her, except the eyes, staring straight ahead, so sad and hopeless. Baron could say anything to his dolly. It usually all came out at once, and today was no different. Baron started by imitating a trumpet. Doot, 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 doo. Then he spilled his guts. Attention, all ye that liveth in the land of Trump. A special announcement concerning the tyrant that ruleth ye. Ye must die. Ye must die. Ye must die. Baron laughed insanely. Today's topic is titled Doot, 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 doo. Trump's Amazing Head. Baron imitated a pompous teacher. What's the best way to kill Donald Trump? Baron paused dramatically, then screamed towards the ceiling in his normal voice. Use a pretty girl, of course. Next, Baron mimicked the little girl again, all high-pitched and giggly. You mean like Ivanka? Pretty Ivanka? Yes, answered academic Baron. She could easily get close to Daddy, especially if she flirted or dressed suggestively. How would she kill him? Explosives. Powerful explosives. That's the only way to make sure. But how would Ivanka get the bomb inside the White House? You don't think she would smuggle it inside her special place? No. Her vagina is certainly large enough, but it's also the first thing the Secret Service checks when she comes for a visit. Ivanka could be put to much better use than that. Someone could saw open her skull and put the explosives inside. Academic Baron paused for emphasis. That would be some amazing head. Trump's amazing head. You're silly. No, listen. I'll explain everything. With the right technique, a doctor could open her up, scoop out her brains, leave her just enough to walk and talk. The skull is a perfect bomb casing, very strong, but it also fragments easily if impact is above a certain threshold. And the immediate area around Ivanka's cranial core could be packed with shrapnel for maximum damage. The boy's voice grew in anger. It was suddenly bitter and vicious. Blow the shit out of him? Yeah, kill the fat motherfucker. Painfully? Yeah, the fat, ugly piece of orange shit would suffer like Mama suffers, like I suffer. Baron began to laugh even more bizarrely, alternating between boyish guffaws and girlish giggles. And if Mr. Vladimir is here, he could get killed by the same blast. You don't like Mr. Vlad? No. Did he hurt you where you poo-poo? Right in the ass, Baron shrieked, totally out of control. Right in the ass. The duet of weird laughter began all over again. Jeff held his breath, trying desperately to contain the content of his colon. Then the dam broke, and he loudly sprayed his bowl with liquid shit. The laughter immediately ceased, and Baron jumped out of his stall, glancing about, hyperventilating. Jeff leaned in close to the door and watched Baron through a gap. He was a nervous boy, probably a teenager actually, but dressed in a child's pajamas. Seeing him carry the antique porcelain doll from the stall gave Jeff an embarrassing half-stiffy. He felt relieved when Barron rushed out. After Barron had fled, Jeff wiped and flushed. Then he walked to the mirror and combed his hair. Not as nice as the Donald's, but certainly... Don't pay any attention to what that boy says. Jeff nearly jumped out of his skin. He'd forgotten about Eric, and there he was, right next to him at the mirror. You hear me, Sessions? Jeff looked at Eric. He was flossing his teeth. I hear you. That kid is always spouting off stupid assassination plots. That one was really wild. You don't think it could work, do you? What do you mean? Well, you're the Attorney General. You have all this experience, right? Let's say, hypothetically, if, say, ISIS got a hold of an idea like that, could they actually do it? Jeff shrugged. I don't know. You should know. Do you want me to look into it? Do you think the president... No. Never mention this to him. He's too busy to have to worry about Barron. Why would you even consider that? You brought it up. Just forget about it. Besides, he doesn't speak to you anyway. Eric smirked. The piece of food was still caught between his two front teeth. He turned and strutted out of the room, leaving Jeff there alone with the buzzing light fixture. He felt slightly ill. He wanted to just sleep forever. Then something caught his eye. It was a photo lying on the floor of the stall that Barron had just occupied. Jeff inched over, then scooped the photo up in a flash. It was a close-up of Ivanka, torn off across her forehead and pasted to a sheet of pink construction paper. On the paper, somebody, Barron probably, had used his crayons to draw a mushroom cloud exploding out of her skull. Jeff went to his office and locked himself in. He lay down on a couch and stared at Barron's artwork. Something ain't right, Jeff clucked. He just knew it.